If Kadarius start catching that ball with his eyes and not his hands,
we saying this about like a fourth-year player.
If he start catching that ball with his eyes and not his hands,
I know what he's saying.
Really,
you usually say this about high schoolers. This man has graduated about 3-4 years ago.
So that's. Welcome back to another edition of the What's Play podcast. I am Christian here with Brian, SportsFan. Caleb is behind the camera. JB left. He said he didn't want to talk about the NFL with us, so he decided to leave. So this is our Super Bowl episode, our yearly Super Bowl episode, of course. And in this yearly Super Bowl episode, we do have two familiar teams, but we'll jump into that a little bit later. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe before we get into the content. And make sure that you guys are watching the videos, commenting, interacting with us on different social media platforms. We love to see it. We love interacting with you guys at the same time. All right. So we're going to start off with NFL coaching news. I believe all head coaching vacancies have been filled.
Correct.
And a lot of these coaching staffs are starting to be filled out with the offensive and defensive coordinators. So I think we're going to go around and try to talk about most, if not all of them. And we can start off with probably the biggest name who was available this offseason with Jim Harbaugh. Ended up leaving the University of Michigan to join the Los Angeles Chargers with Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, maybe Austin Eckler. No, doubt it.
Hell no.
But he's brought over a good amount of his Michigan staff with him, primarily on the defensive side of the ball, and then Greg Roman as offensive coordinator. I think if we were to have probably the most interesting hire of this period, I think Greg Roman would have been mine, just because of how we saw his track record over the past few years prior to getting fired with the Ravens. It'll be interesting to see how he does with this type of quarterback and this type of how he can evolve this system, because this Chargers system has been pretty stale over the past couple of years. So that's probably the one of the most interesting hires to me so far. But anybody have anything on Jim Harbaugh?
I think it was a home run hire for sure, especially getting him with a guy like Justin Herbert, as you said. It's going to be interesting to see what they do offensively, because we all know Greg Roman is a run-first type of guy. And obviously that worked for when you have a quarterback like Alex Smith, who's more of a game manager. And I think that was part of the reason why Alex was so successful in that offense, and even Colin Kaepernick later on in the system. So it'll be interesting to see how Jim adjusts to this. I don't even say this new NFL, but I don't think him running the ball 30 times is gonna work in this type of league. Even though as Chris said in our draft episode, go check that out. That teams will probably be moving back to more like 12 personnel offensively. First I think it'd probably be based on what the personnel looks like, because as we said, Mike Williams might not be there, Austin Eckler probably won't be there, things of that nature. So first you got to figure out what the personnel even looks like to determine how they're going to run their offense. But I'm not sure. I'm not saying that you can have a run first scheme, but I just don't think that running the ball 20 times a game is gonna be as impactful as it was back in 2011, when you have a quarterback of Justin Herbert's stature and a team that's in a league that's more pass happy than ever, I guess I would say.
Yeah. As a Justin Herbert fan, it's good to, when they put out the news who to be the OC, I kind of already have my excuse for the season if things don't work out. But to be honest, it's probably good for Justin. The game won't be all on him. That's what it came down to a lot of the time. He'll actually probably have a running game that actually supports him, instead of getting like 3 yards per carry like he did last year in the playoffs last year, where they blew that lead because they couldn't run the ball to save their life. They'll probably draft a running back because Austin Eckler is not coming back. They'll probably draft a tight end because they're letting Juro Everett go. My favorite suggestion right now for them, or maybe prediction, is that they get Brock Bowers, and they probably just run the ball and throw it a lot to a tight end. Make it simple for Justin. Not because they need to, just that team is just not built right now to let Justin just cook every play. It's just not going to work defensively and offensively, because they're going to have to let Mike Williams or Keenan Allen go, if not both. So that team's going to look really different next year. It's not going to be immediate to the playoffs, even though it could, because just when you have a quarterback like that, anything's possible. But I don't want people to be surprised when they struggle out the gate. But still, it's a great hire. I'm interested to see how that defense works, especially because the Michigan defense looked really good last year. he brought over a lot of Michigan coordinators, and everywhere Jim has gone, he's pretty much won. So I'm interested to see how the Chargers look going forward. They haven't been really winning like that in almost a decade, so it's interesting to see.
Yeah. I mean, I've said all I really have to say on the Chargers hire. And Jim Harbaugh is a legendary coach, so I think we kind of know what we get from him for the most part. I'm just really interested to see how Greg Roman does with this offense. But we can move through these next couple. These are the promotion hires. There's Gerard Mayo and Antonio Pierce. I think a lot of us on this podcast were rooting for the Raiders to promote him because we saw he had the locker room while he was there. And the team didn't really lose a beat, and if anything, they picked up steam once he took over. So we were really rooting for him to get the promotion, get the interim label removed. So shout out to Antonio Pierce and Gerard Mayo, who I believe in his contract it was stated that once Bill Belichick either was fired or moved on, Gerard Mayo would be automatically promoted. So they didn't even have a coaching search in New England. Gerard Mayo was automatically made the head coach. So shout out and congratulations to those two. Always love to see black men get their due in the NFL coaching world. I don't know if you guys have anything to say on those two. What I just said.
Two things for them. It's really good to see two black men become head coaches. Or one continue because he was already interim last year.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about the other black coach also got hired later after this one. But it's good to see them get hired. I hope Gerard Mayo doesn't have too much social media up because if they lose too many games, it's going to get a little wicked in there. Them New England, Boston fans can be, as you two Boston Celtics fans know. But still, I think he's going to do well, all things considered. He seems to be bringing the right amount of new coaching, outside coaching help and inside coaching of promoting within. So I'm interested to see how that looks. Especially what they do with their first pick, the third pick this year. So they should be able to get a quarterback if they want, or some say they'll get Marvin Harrison. Either way, they should have something to help boost the offense immediately off the rip because the offense was sad last year. So we're going to see how that goes going forward. And then for Antonio Pierce, everybody's seen his interviews and his personality. It looks like he's a great coach. He has a good connection with all the players. So I'm interested to see how that goes going forward. I'm more so concerned offensive coordinator-wise. I'm not sure if they got one yet. The one they wanted.
I think it was then they hired Luke Getsy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think Luke. A lot of people respect Luke Getsy around the league.
That's good for them, man.
I think Luke Getsy had a struggle trying to incorporate the Justin Fields quarterback play into his system. So I'd be interested to see what he can do with another opportunity because there's clearly a reason why he got another job.
There's a reason.
There's that reason, and there's maybe he's actually good. We just really don't know it. I do think he did some good things with Justin Fields. He wasn't as hesitant to kind of modernize the system a little bit once they moved on from Nagy, but at the same time he did some things that the system looked a little bit too simple, and then there were also things at the same time where it was like you're asking a quarterback to do something that he's never done before. So it was a lot of stuff that he could have improved on, but I'd be interested to see how he does in the second spot with maybe, a more normal quarterbacking situation.
I'm going to be honest with you. As of right now, the quarterback is Jimmy G, so I'm not really sure.
No. It's
Aiden O'Connell, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's Aiden O'Connell.
Same thing.
But next year it'll be
it won't.
JJ.
See, so I was gonna
God bless us all.
So to allude to you guys' points, kind of like JG said, obviously great to see JJ and CT said, great to see black men getting hired as head coaches, especially former players because they understand like what it takes to be, what it takes to have a good locker room presence and things of that nature. So having guys that can connect with the locker room and younger guys is big. But as we basically evolved, as they have basically said, their long-term success is going to come down to finding the toughest thing in football, and that is a quarterback you can win with. So hopefully they can both find it through the draft, as JG said. If not, hopefully you find a quarterback that fits your system. In free agency, I don't know if there's that many out there because even a guy like Kirk Cousins, he'll win you games, but I don't know if he's that. He's obviously not that long-term piece, depending on how long he wants to play. But yeah, I just don't think he fits those timelines. So hopefully you can find a guy in the draft, maybe a guy like JJ for Vegas because of the offense they'll be running.
Michael Penix.
That works too. And then obviously
Bo
somebody like
Nix.
and then somebody like
They're
a
all
Jay,
options.
somebody like a Jaden Daniels for the Patriots if Drake May's taking it too.
Yeah, probably be taking it too. Or Drake May if
Jaden Daniels is
he's
taking it too.
too.
Yeah.
They're both
So-
possible. Especially what the Commanders got an office coordinator, but we'll talk about it later.
I got a question. So, I know you guys didn't go over all the coaching hires yet.
Yeah, we got about 5.
But what are your favorite? What was your favorite pickup, least favorite, and like a dark horse pickup
My
that people don't really
favorite.
see?
favorite
All coaching, like be coordinators.
Yeah, my favorite head coach or coach hire in general is Raheem Morris. I kind of like what he did. Just the Rams defense had a lack of talent. It was really just Aaron Donald and a bunch of rookies. They had like the largest draft class, if not all time, just close to it last year. And they had a lot of rookie young players playing. That defense played really well down the stretch. Got them to the good point in the season. They made the playoffs, right? They lose.
Who, the Falcons?
No, the Rams.
I mean, not the
Yeah, the
Falcons.
Rams.
The Rams.
Yeah, the Rams.
Yeah, they made
They
it.
lost.
First round, they lost to the Lions. Yep.
Correct. Yeah, so that team made it to the playoffs with that defense. I'm interested to see what he does with the piece he has now. He has some talent on that defense with Jesse Bates and AJ Terrell. And maybe Jeff Kuda if he comes back, but we'll see. But he has some talent, and he looks like he learned from his lessons he had previously coaching. It was a very long time ago when he first coached, the Bucs, right? That was
Yeah,
like 10 years
Tampa.
ago.
And he
Tampa,
was
yeah.
super young.
This
He
was
was-
09?
Yeah, at least. I think Raheem Morris is probably my second favorite hire. I really don't think you could have gone wrong with hiring him, and he brought together a pretty decent staff as well, just off
He
of
brought,
names. Zach Robinson.
from
And I think Zach Robinson
That's
will
the
probably
biggest
be if the Falcons have success, Zach Robinson will probably be considered for head coaching jobs next year, just because he comes from that McVay system. And if he's able to actually show that he can develop a quarterback in his first year, he'll definitely be considered for jobs next year. But I will say my favorite hire was probably Dave Canales to the Panthers. 2 years in a row. This was his first year as a coordinator with Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay. But this is 2 years in a row where he's had a hand in helping to kind of revitalize the career of veteran quarterbacks who could have potentially been on their last stop. He was in Seattle the year prior to this. And he helped rejuvenate Geno's career there. Of course, Shane Waldron also had a hand in that. But then he came to Tampa and really created an offense that suited Baker's strengths. A lot of down-the-field passing. He tried to run the ball. The offensive line was not that great, so they didn't have great success in doing that. But the vertical passing game he put together in Tampa really suited Mike Evans' strengths as well. So I think he's a coach that once he gets to Carolina, he seems like a coach who would be able to cater to the strengths of his players. And I think Carolina really needed somebody who would be able to really focus on bringing the best out of what Bryce Young does as a quarterback and focusing on his strengths instead of trying to make him play as a traditional drop back passer when maybe that's simply not what he is as a 5'11", 200-pound quarterback. 200-pound quarterback. So I think he will create a system that Bryce Young can have success in, and we won't see this potential great career start off extremely slow with 2 bad seasons. So that's probably my favorite hire.
So I was thinking Canales like CT, but that would probably be number 2 for me as well. For me, I'd probably say Mike McDonald being signed to Seattle.
Yeah, that was very underrated.
Because I feel like that he basically fits that city and that team just based
Very
on
well
what they've
personality.
been. Yeah, just based on what they've been since even like the Mike Holmgren days, but definitely the Pete Carroll days where it's defense focused, running the football, and coming from somewhere like Baltimore where that's kind of like ingrained in their system as well. It'd just be interesting to see how he tries to build his defense with the young talent that they have, and obviously continuing to build.
Yeah, I feel bad, man. It's just that division just gets tougher and tougher every year. Every time I think it's gonna get easier, it just doesn't. Oh man.
I don't know how you do it, man. I don't know how you do it.
Praying, staying positive. If I was in a division like the NFC East, man, boy, things would be doing, man. I wish. Did we talk about all the other coaches? All the 7?
I think we talked about
7? Okay, now 8 when we didn't talk about.
I know Kellen Moore is offensive coordinator, but outside of that, I think we talked about all the head coaches.
Kellen Moore's offensive coordinator for who?
He got signed by the Eagles, didn't he?
No, I think we talked about all
Kellen
that.
Moore's offensive coordinator for the Eagles?
I
I think
yeah,
I'm missing
didn't
one.
he?
I'm
Well,
missing
no,
another
we
one.
didn't talk about Brian Callahan.
Brian Callahan. Forgot about him.
Brian Callahan, because he's from that tree.
I thought Kellen Moore became the Eagles offensive coordinator, though. Am I wrong?
Nah.
Say it again.
Did Kellen Moore became the offensive coordinator for Eagles?
Yeah, he's
right?
a coordinator somewhere. I don't remember where it was. I think it is the Eagles.
I feel like it was for the Eagles because I feel like we were in there talking to Brian from CSV about it, and that happened.
No free promo.
No, don't free promo that guy.
Yeah.
Nah.
Cut that out the tape, Steal
He is the coordinator for the Eagles now.
Okay. Yeah. I thought they hired. I thought we had a conversation.
I like
about
that pickup for him.
So think about it.
Yeah, but
what they had before.
Brian Callahan was picked up by the Titans. He's had a strong part in Joe Burrow's development in Cincinnati.
And Joe Burrow
and Jake Browning. Jake Browning was able to put up pretty good numbers.
Job. Jake Browning coming in cooking. It's like, okay, you really know what you're doing with quarterbacks and letting it adapt your system to it. Because they didn't ask Jake to do the same things Joe was doing, but they still adapt the offense. It still was pretty efficient down the stretch.
And they're bringing his dad too, so you know your offensive line.
The offensive line, one of the best offensive line coaches of all time, and
I'm going to see how he builds that team out because it's lacking talent wise.
Yeah, Callahan's an extended member of that. Extended member of that Shanahan tree again, because Zach Taylor's directly from Los Angeles, and Callahan just joined right in with that. But since he doesn't really utilize the Shanahan type cheese offense as much, that's what I'm gonna start calling it, the cheese offense, because they actually have a quarterback. So, but I think that's all the hires, right?
Yeah. So
sure isn't.
I think that's all the head coaching.
I think my least favorite hire. I mean, it's just not really fair to them because deep down they wanted Ben Johnson or they wanted Mike McDaniel so bad, and at the end of the day, no matter who's the owner or what the situation is, no matter if you have Magic Johnson or whatever, you sometimes don't get what you want. And you end up hiring Dan Quinn. And
they did have an opening.
Yep.
They did, man. You hired Dan Quinn.
And with Dan Quinn.
All things considered, I don't like Dan Quinn as a hire. But then, the little faith that you had, you hired Cliff Kingsbury. And it's like, man, there's no way you have not learned from any lessons. Like, I don't know. And then Dan Quinn said, I coached against him a lot. And I'm like, damn, and you wanted him on your staff? Like, you saw good things there?
I mean, this is the same guy that allowed, Green Bay to run all over the defense because he had, 6 DBs out there or whatever? So.
You're right. That is true. I mean, let's be different. I'm going to think of positives. Hold on.
He worked with 5 good quarterbacks. Well, 4 and a good college quarterback.
Yeah, I think
Cliff Kingsbury's really connected. He knows faces.
He is.
He's usually, when he's in the room, there's a good quarterback somewhere there.
That is true.
So no clue if they're going to be good quarterback for that team or later, but they'll somehow, some way.
I think the good thing about Cliff Kingsbury is
the offense will be simple. Really easy to understand off the rip.
They will not be getting yelled at like they were with Harry Enemy.
Cliff Kingsbury.
The quarterback will be doing yelling at Cliff Kingsbury instead.
He can have a hand in helping. Well, not helping. He can. It's such a hard
development.
Way to find. No. Yeah, he can help develop.
Introduce him to the league.
Yes. Maybe he's a good introductory offensive coordinator for a young quarterback. But the things that Cliff Kingsbury does not do is make the job easy for the young quarterback.
That is true.
I think a lot of the complaints in Arizona, there's a lot of 4 or 5 receiver sets.
Doesn't motion receivers, doesn't move.
Doesn't put the quarterback under center. I saw a quote like, if you can't or don't put your quarterback under center, you're making his life even more difficult.
That was Jay Gruden, correct?
No, not only Jay Gruden. Greg Olsen said that.
Yeah, Greg Olsen. So, yeah, he doesn't. So, I'm hoping that his year away from the NFL allowed him to do some self-reflection. But even then, you could say that. But no, I seen it. That USC offense got worse once he got there.
Caleb had his worst season.
And the route concepts on those USC,
horrific.
It was pretty bad.
Horrific.
So
he was only an offensive consultant, though. Who knows?
I don't know if that was Lincoln Riley or if it was Cliff Kingsbury who was really implementing a lot of this stuff in the offense.
Is that the worst offense Lincoln has ever had?
It feels
so.
It seems like it was. So I think Cliff Kingsbury had a pretty big hand in the offense when he was there. Unfortunately,
positive. You guys got wide receivers. So. All things considered, when Terry lands up on the left 30 times and Jahan lands on the right 40 times, it won't, be too bad. There's talent out there.
No motion, huh?
Nope.
No, he didn't do none of that.
Oh, man.
He sure did it. It was really crazy.
Did they even run motion at USC?
No.
Dang.
It was a lot of just, if Caleb, Kyler, Mahomes, Baker, it didn't matter who it was. Just hike the ball, and the quarterback has to make the right read.
Who's the Chargers offensive coordinator 2 years ago?
Joe Lombardi.
He kind of reminds me of Joe Lombardi.
Yeah,
that's not good.
He is kind of like Joe Lombardi.
He's
like,
very hey, them USC
like
route trees. It was a bunch of curls, a bunch of a lot of receivers running in the same direction. It was pretty bad.
You was wondering like when Caleb was running around, like why is he doing that? Why is he throwing nobody? There was nobody open.
There was not a soul
There
open,
not a soul.
and
There's
all the
no-
receivers were standing up,
Standing there looking at him.
Yeah, and then you get to the
That's why he
Senior
had to run
Bowl.
around a lot.
You get to the Senior Bowl, and you see Brandon Rice is having a pretty good Senior Bowl. You know, he's getting open. He's using his size. You didn't really see much of that at USC. You didn't
They
really
masked him
see.
too.
You didn't really see them taking advantage of that type of stuff. It was just he puts his players. It's like almost a Madden where you have to make formation subs in order to get players in different positions. But Cliff Kingsbury's too lazy to do that. So it's like you're just running out with the base. Your number one receiver's on the left side. Your number two receiver on the right side, and then your slot guy is always in the slot.
Yep.
Don't motion anybody. You
Don't
run the
motion
play
him.
as it is.
Wide receiver one never gets to be in the slot
This-
against the three.
See,
Nah.
the thing is, it worked that one season, half season with Kyler, but people forget that same game Kyler got hurt versus the Packers, Diop got hurt. He didn't play the rest of the season. So once that star outside receiver on the left is gone, now you have A.J. Green on the outside as your main outside receiver and Christian Kirk in the slot. And in the playoff game, I think either A.J. Green or someone of them got hurt. So now you have Rondell Moore and Christian Kirk out there versus Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, and Bob Miller. And it looked a little crazy. And everybody, they threw a lot of blame on Kyler. That
But there's
wasn't fair.
only so much you can do.
It's only so much you could do with an offense that doesn't adapt, and it's so easy to read. That's another part that's I don't like about Cliff. He didn't adjust towards in parts of the season. When defenses caught up to what he was doing,
Yeah.
it didn't work. He relied a lot on talent and just getting the ball to talent and space and just letting it work. It worked when D-Hop is getting the ball when he's healthy, but once everybody's get hurt and the QBs are contained and the edges are contained in Kyler, it was pretty much it. All the run game was predicated on Kyler's read option or making it work, and he didn't really adjust towards the end. But positive, last positive. That's probably the only positive. I like the defense coordinator, Joe Witt Jr. Right? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked him. Kind of like what he bring. Everything I've heard from him, from Ryan Clark and other Dallas players, they really like what he brought, especially to the secondary room. So secondary wise, I think the Commanders should be better. I mean, you can't.
We got to
no
see what the
worse.
personnel looks like.
It,
though.
no, it
Fuller
literally
and
can't get no
Forbes.
worse. They was 32nd.
Fuller
That
and
is true.
Forbes.
Can't get. Oh goodness, that's awful. Well, Fuller's good. He's
Forbes.
31 though, ain't he? 32?
Hey, Joe Witt was the mastermind. I mean, Al Harris was the cornerback coach, but Joe Witt was the supposed mastermind behind the Dallas secondary's, rise. He got a lot of production out of a lot of the, not even talking about Deron Bland and Trayvon Diggs, but like the Donovan Wilsons, the Jaron Curses, those players who
Shout out to
we
Jaron,
got a
man.
lot of production out of, who weren't really household names, and then you look at them on Dallas and they're doing things cohesively as a unit, and if you're able to do that as a secondary, most of the players are going to seem like they're playing above their actual ability.
And I did like the defense move players around, used DeMarcus Lawrence and Michael Parsons as chess pieces moving around, find them mismatches, which hopefully they'll be able to do with Jonathan Allen and Darren Payne, and then hopefully they draft the edge. So the future is bright defensively. I don't know what's going to look like offensively, but
It'd be real
I'll be watching every game.
It'd be real interesting to see if if they had a guy like a Montez Sweat to really move around as a chess piece. But maybe they'll get that soon. But
Maybe.
maybe
Gonna have to go through the draft,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
I
Again.
mean, it could be anything. They could use that second round they picked for a Montez Sweat type player. Where'd you get Montez Sweat? What round you draft him in?
They used the second
It was the
round to
first round,
trade
right?
up to the first round,
To draft him?
but we had one, so we had Montez.
Yeah,
Crazy, man.
Yep.
I mean,
fly, though.
but if the Panthers and the Jaguars for some reason don't franchise their guys, I mean,
Oh
maybe
yeah, they're
you got
both
a guy.
Commanders, both of them.
Fuck no.
And we're back. Now it is time to jump into the Super Bowl conversation. And like I said earlier, we have two familiar teams in this game. These are teams that have, of course, been here in recent years. The Chiefs especially. They are the defending Super Bowl champions. And they are here in Las Vegas. Not here because we're not there. Maybe next year. But they're in Las Vegas ready to take on the San Francisco 49ers. I believe they are the betting favorites. We will have a brief betting segment for you all later. But we have the 49ers and the Chiefs. This is a Super Bowl we saw about 4 years ago. And so now we're able to get a rematch. New quarterback for the 49ers. They have moved on, and you could say they have upgraded as well with Brock Purdy.
You could say.
And they have Christian McCaffrey as well. The workhorse of their running back, and
Potential offensive
the
player of the
receivers
year.
have stepped up and improved as well. Brandon Ayuk. So this is a very brand new. I don't want to say brand new, but this is a new.
It's pretty brand new.
Hey, brand new 49ers team for the Chiefs. This is a very new Chiefs team as well. No Tyreek Hill, which is who they had a few years ago, and Travis Kelce isn't the same, but playoff Travis Kelce has looked pretty good this year so far, and the defense has stepped up to a point where they arguably weren't a few years ago. So I think we're gonna go around the room and give our Super Bowl predictions and then our Super Bowl MVP. And then after that, we'll give you guys a brief little betting portion.
Okay, so for this Super Bowl, I think, like I said before last week, obviously, I think it's going to come down to the willingness of Kyle Shanahan to stick with the run. I think both teams will play well. It'll also be interesting to see. Well, for the Chiefs side, it'll be interesting to see if the receivers can keep up their recent stretch of holding on to the football, I should say, not dropping passes. So we'll see if that continues to work. But for me, like I said before, I think the Chiefs win 27-24, and I have Patrick Mahomes winning his third Super Bowl MVP.
Just to be different, I know everybody in the staff is going to pick the Chiefs. I'm going to say Super Bowl MVP, Christian McCaffrey. I'm going to go a score of. These are really two good defensive teams, but usually in the Super Bowl, things become more offensive. But I'm just going to say, let's say, I'm going to go with 28-24 49ers. I don't believe in Kyle Shanahan kicking field goals with this kicker. I believe the game will be close. I believe Mahomes will still beat Mahomes. I just think the gap offensively, talent-wise, is going to show in this game. I mean, who knows? They can find somebody else to get a bunch of yards out of nowhere. I think Sky Moore got activated today, so who knows? You never know with this team, man.
If Sky got activated, is Tony going to play?
Tony might play, man.
Tony playing, man. He gonna find his way on that.
He was at media day, so he's not exiled from the team the way I thought he would be.
He said it was. He wasn't talking about the Chiefs. He said he was talking about Giants fans, which
as he should.
He should.
As he should.
Love you, bro. It's gonna be a tough one. I'm not gonna fake like it won't be defensive. Also, Jervis Ward was a Chief, I believe, the last time they played.
Yep.
He's a 49er. That's a good storyline. Both teams have really good cornerback ones. Both teams kind of have a good, game plan going forward. I just want to see who's actually going to play offense for the Chiefs outside of Kelce.
Rasheed Rice.
Yeah, all right. Well, I believe when Jervis Ward put his hands on, it's going to look a little crazy. We'll see, though.
Javarius playing in the slot?
Jervis Ward do what he got to do.
Okay.
Try to think, is there anything I also want to talk about? No, I'm going to give Mingles the floor. He has to talk.
I feel like this is the moment we have all been waiting for. The Mingles Super Bowl lock.
Finally got the script?
Yeah. The script was delivered last week. I had it last week. I just didn't want to speak on it. Because if you all remember, I correctly predicted the winner of the Super Bowl last year and was off on the score by just 3 points. So I think people have been waiting so they could really set their parlays. But I'm going with Mahomes and the Chiefs again this year. Slightly less confident than I was last year, but the script is what the script is. And the score may surprise some people. SportsFan said that, of course, these are two good defenses. But towards the Super Bowl, except for like a few years ago with the Rams and the Patriots, offense tends to win out. Quarterbacks seem to be slightly more locked in for the most part. But I do think this Super Bowl I don't think it's going to be as close as it was last year. I think the difference between this year and last year is I think the Chiefs' defense has really taken a step. I don't want to say they're going to expose Brock Purdy because I don't know what the true expectations are for them. I don't know if there's like real unanimous expectations for Brock Purdy to like put up crazy numbers. But I do think this is not the best matchup for the Niners. And I think we've seen the Niners be exposed. I mean, this season has been rough for the Chiefs all around, but once they start going, it's hard for them to be beat. And I'm going with the Chiefs, and the score will be I've been going back and forth in my head, but I'm gonna go with the script, 34-24 Chiefs. I think this will be a stress-free Super Bowl win this time for the
Yeah,
Chiefs.
he's smoking.
So
that.
you don't think so? It's not going to be like the previous one where like it's just a late touchdown to put them up.
No, I think.
I mean,
Chiefs,
not to put them up, but to put the game away.
I think the Chiefs are in control of most of the game, honestly, and I do
start
think
to finish.
Yeah, yeah. I think this would be a from first to fourth quarter finish for them, throwing lives down 20. All right. But yeah, I think the Chiefs get it done pretty handily. 34-24. I think the score may even sound closer than the game actually is. So, 34-24. Super Bowl MVP Patrick Mahomes.
Got it.
Again.
So do we want to give any more analysis, or do we want to move to the?
Man, the Chiefs have not blown anyone out in the Super Bowl like that.
10 points is not a blowout.
It's probably the best team they played.
It is. That's why it's surprising. But this is also. I can't even say that.
Go ahead.
I was about to say worst quarterback, but that was a lie because Jimmy was way worse.
Yeah.
Why you lie like that?
But Kyle Shanahan is still the play caller, and he might get a little nervous. He's proven to be a little nervous in these type of games.
Yep.
I don't know. The Chiefs don't have Eric Bieniemy. Can they do
know
it this time?
that is a big loss.
He is there, though.
Getting him
He's
consulted, though.
He was there.
He's been in contact though.
Been talking to him.
They might
have a couple red zone plays ready.
Yeah, they might sneak him a ring.
Sneak him a ring.
They might if they win, they got to sneak him a ring.
I just feel like
Mahomes said when he was on the phone with them, they were just so amped up. So he clearly had an impact, even though the offense only scored 17 points after he talked to him.
Yeah.
But
He was on
all they needed to
speakerphone
do.
as he was packing his office, huh? That's good, man.
No, he was already he was back. He
was
flew
back
out
in
of-
KC
yeah.
already.
Oh, got you.
Me and Chris talked about this already.
Got you.
His co-offensive coordinators.
Yeah,
Got
he
you.
will be back next year.
Yeah.
Trust me, because nobody else is hiring him. He will be back next year.
Yeah, but I just feel like this is kind of to go to Chris's point. I feel like there's gonna be one or two of those Andy Reid type plays where it's just like, okay, we've been practicing, like Patrick always says, like we've been practicing this for like 20 weeks, and Coach got this like from a 1942 play, and we just decided to go ahead and do it in the Super Bowl. So I just feel like we're gonna get a couple of those in the red zone, and that may be. They may not like go for touchdowns, but they'll be key parts of the game. I think, personally.
Yeah, I think we may. Knock on wood. But I think we may get some Kadarius Toney action today. I mean, not
I
today.
don't disagree with
during
that.
the Super Bowl.
You might get a nice.
I think
Nice couple red zone plays.
I'm not because I don't want him to get hurt. Knocking on wood to prevent injury or to prevent him not playing at all. But I think Kadarius Toney could have another impact because he had a big impact on the game last year. Redemption arc could come full circle. If he's able to have a strong hand in them winning 2 straight Super Bowls, they'll just take the regular season drops at that point. It'll just happen.
No, the fuck they won't.
You can't get rid of him.
They literally got better by benching him and Sky Moore.
No.
Okay.
They benched Sky Moore.
They
did
didn't
not
bench
get
Toney?
better. No. They need Toney.
For what?
He's their best returner.
Oh.
And Mecole be fumbling that ball over the goal line.
Yeah, we've seen that already.
Yeah, get Mecole off the field.
That's really who Toney should
They
probably
all
be
three
playing
are the
over
same
anyway.
player.
No. Sky Moore is actually like really bad. Like
They're
no.
not-
Tony, no.
They're not as shifty
Tony
as
literally.
Kadarius.
The only thing about Tony is that he literally cannot catch the ball. But other than that, he got everything else you want. He's short and he can't catch the ball. That's the only thing.
But if you can
He's
get the football in his
exactly
hands,
what
He's
you
shifty.
don't need as a wide receiver.
He's
That's good,
shifty.
man.
He can run. He's a good route runner. He can get open. He just got to finish the plays.
This nigga a running back.
If he starts
hey
finishing,
man, what they said the same thing about number 19 on the other side. So
but I'm not using Mecole in that same role.
Catch the ball. Come on.
I mean, he
man.
can. I'm just saying. I'm sure.
If Kadarius start catching that ball with his eyes and not his hands,
We saying this about like
Huh?
a 4th year player.
if he start catching that ball with his eyes and not his hands,
I know what he's saying.
he'll really.
but you usually say this about high schoolers. This man has graduated about 3-4 years ago.
So
dog.
that's why it's more realistic that he'll be able to get it done.
That's true, man. I haven't thought about that.
Yeah. See.
Counterpoint.
Catching with your
Catch it with your eyes. That requires some IQ. Are you sure he has that IQ at this point?
Oh, why would you think he doesn't?
You want me to go through the evidence or like just
Do
based
you
on
have his college GPA?
I don't think I need to.
Mm.
I know that drink is incomplete on it.
Oh yeah, that's racist. Oh yeah, that's racist.
He didn't graduate. That's his common knowledge.
The GPA
he
says
only played.
incomplete.
He was only there 3 years, right?
That's why I know it says incomplete. That's why I know he ain't complete that shit.
No, the degree says incomplete, not the
You think he's going back
GPA.
to school?
He might.
What do you think his major gonna be?
Whatever
like
his
business.
major
I feel like
was
it's
when he
something
was
business.
there.
Business major Kadarius Toney.
You'd be
I like
surprised.
that. I like that.
I mean,
Probably-
you got to do something different. I mean, you
I'm
got
sorry.
you got
I
a guy
us
who
off
does
track.
music. So
I don't know
like,
how we
promote-
ended up here. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I feel
your
like he's the guy
hate-
that would promote
No
music.
hate.
Your hate gets us here every time.
He said it. Our co-producer said he wanted more lively talk. This is more lively talk.
Yeah.
You don't feel engaged?
You asked for more hate. That's what you created. More
Embrace
hate.
the hate.
Oh, I love Tony for what he is. He's a guy.
Here's
Here's a guy who
he'll make an impact.
makes a juke.
Just like he did last year. He'll have a play.
They punting the ball out of bounds.
Yeah, I
That would
want
be
to.
smart.
Hey,
That would be
if
smart.
they're not punting it to him, that's the impact.
True.
I win that way. Yeah, but anybody want to offer a betting lock, a Super Bowl betting lock?
Oh yeah. So how many legs?
I say we each
Give a leg.
offer two.
Offer two? Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
Give you two. Give you one right here. Well, I think of the second one. C-Mac anytime touchdown.
Dang, okay. That's what I was thinking too.
That was
Easy
all right.
money.
Let me
That was
find-
the easiest one,
Let me
yeah.
find a new one. All right, I'm gonna go with Rashee Rice over 50 receiving yards. Probably not too much of a payout on that one, but
I got my next
Based
one.
on CT's score, I guess I should say Patrick Mahomes 250 passing
I
yards.
ain't say that. I didn't say that.
He didn't say that.
I didn't say all that now. But hey,
No,
that
I'm
works.
saying based on the score. Based on the score.
I don't know.
Hey.
You never know how to get down the field,
wait,
man.
That is true. That is
Wait,
true.
It could be Tony, man.
Okay.
They
Hold on.
had 38 points
All right,
last
let
year.
me take it back. Let me take it back.
He ain't get the
Isaiah
250.
Okay, I'm gonna take it back. Isaiah Pacheco anytime touchdown.
That's a good one.
I
That's
like
a
that
good one.
one.
That's
He
a
got
good
that
one.
last year. Okay.
So what we got so far?
we got
C-Mac
C-Mac,
anytime,
Isaiah,
Pacheco anytime,
and then,
Rashee Rice
50
yards.
yards.
Okay.
Oh, I already got my other one. Unless y'all want to go.
I got Ayuk 50 yards.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's weak. You gotta up that.
You think so?
Yeah, he's that. Oh no, I forgot Brock Purdy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't want to
safe.
put too much.
No,
pressure on
that's
Brock.
safe. That's safe. I'm gonna go with. I'm torn between two. You got your last one?
I feel like this one is obvious that I'm gonna say.
All right, go ahead.
Travis Kelce anytime touchdown. Because
Okay.
you know they got to get him one for the Super Bowl.
Well, since you said that, because I was gonna go Travis Kelce 80 yards, but since you already used Travis, I'm gonna go
Anytime touchdown, man.
Brock Purdy anytime interception.
Man, we was cooking up to that last one. Interception one, a parlay, a little crazy.
Hey, it's happening.
It's bold though.
It's happened
Either
every
a
game
fumble
this
or
preseason,
interception.
right?
One of them two.
I mean, every game this postseason he's throwing a pick.
I kind of like this. This is a good parlay though. Not
Yeah,
gonna
I
lie.
might have to put
I
some.
think we might have
I
to
might
catch
have
I'm
that.
listening. What you say? You said Travis Kelce won. anytime?
Travis anytime touchdown.
Okay.
I know he said Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown.
Yeah, I got.
I said Pacheco anytime
I
touchdown.
got Ayuk 50 receiving yards.
That's the
He
last
said
one.
Rashee Rice 50 receiving yards.
The last one is Brock Purdy anytime interception.
That might be like at
I'm
least.
not
That's
even-
got to be at
I'm
least
not even
1,000.
sure
He
if
said
you
he said
could
how
put
many-
it in
he
his-
said how many yards for Ayuk? How many?
50.
50 for Ayuk and 50 for Rashee.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna tell y'all the
Can you put an interception to a parlay?
You can.
You can. Okay. I
I
know
do.
sometimes it don't.
Every
Let's do
time
it.
Purdy play, I might put one.
That might be plus 2,000. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nah, that's not plus 2,000.
It might.
No,
be.
no, I'm saying the whole
wait,
parlay
you can't.
together.
Oh, it's higher than that.
On FanDuel, you can't combine the interception.
Yeah, I know you can. Yeah, FanDuel.
Let's try ESPN bet.
I'm
Let
trying
me
to
see if I
think
can do it on ESPN bet.
or that FanDuel. What's the other one?
But
I think
Without-
it's
DraftKings,
bet.
DraftKings.
I'm gonna try it on
ESPN
ESPN bet.
okay, so but on FanDuel without the Brock Purdy interception, the odds is plus 1024.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
We might get
We might got bet
Bet.
that.
We
That's
might
a
have to
good
do
one.
that.
We might have cooked up.
That's actually
Because
pretty
by
good
the way,
odds.
Ayuk yards is over under 67 and a half. No, that's
I'm about
not-
to
that's
say if you
not
up that
like-
Ayuk,
No, Ayuk is 64 and a half.
It's 'cause of
Rashee
Brock Purdy,
Rice
though.
is 67 and a half.
Okay, so we're both kind of under on them. Yeah. Okay, I'm still fine with that though, cause I just can't.
play it safe, man. Brock
Play it
Purdy
safe.
and then
This
Rashee
maybe
barely got that.
actually-
Rashee barely got that ball last.
That's not a crazy
2 weeks
parlay.
ago. So
It's actually
I'm
solid parlay.
I'm proud of us. None of us saying Kittle, cause I don't believe Kittle's.
He said Kittle. No, not Kittle.
No,
he said Kelce.
Kelce,
Because
the
Kittle
real.
told me last week. No, well, I guess the week before now. Not the Pro Bowl week. Yeah,
Kelsey
shit
scoring a
was sick.
touchdown is even
It is.
on ESPN.
Oh,
bet.
for real?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is plus 100.
Well,
Wow.
to review our what's the play lock. Here is the parlay that we set up for you guys. You would probably have to use ESPN Bet to apply this one because we included an interception. We're going with C-Mac anytime touchdown, Pacheco anytime touchdown, Kelce anytime touchdown. Then we have Brandon Ayuk and Rashee Rice to both clear 50 yards receiving, and Brock Purdy to throw 1 interception. Be sure to use that on your ESPN Bet and use code What's the Play in a few years once we have a FanDuel sponsorship. Not yet. Don't use it yet. Use it in a few years once we have a FanDuel sponsorship, and you'll be able to get $50 in free bets.
If you want to be a little safe, you can take the interception or maybe one of the touchdowns, but we're pretty confident about all that happening, to be honest with you at this point.
Yeah, I liked all of that. So I say everybody should put that on the parlay.
So all of these are parlay worthy. But
So, to move on, we're still on the theme of Super Bowls. This is our last topic for today. Still on the theme of Super Bowls. And so, before you guys enjoy the rest of your evening, we're going to discuss some of our favorite Super Bowls of all time by drafting. What did we say, the last 20 years?
Yeah, since Colts and Bears.
Colts and Bears.
So,
Like
since the
18,
Colts
really.
and Bears, what was that? I think that was 2006.
Correct.
Or 2007. One of those. Since that Super Bowl, we are going to draft, each of us are going to draft 3 specific Super Bowls and see who has the best games. So, JB, did you determine the order?
Yeah,
JB's
sure.
off
What
camera.
did
He
you,
returned.
What'd you come up with? Okay, so you didn't decide. Okay,
Okay.
cool.
They said pick a number
Okay,
you want to
my
pick.
number is going to be 3.
18.
30.
What's the number?
What was the number?
The number was 35. Brian was the closest. So we are going to do a snake draft. Brian has the selection of his first Super Bowl. SportsFan will go second. I will go third. And then, of course, with the snake draft, the order flips. We're only going to do 3 rounds, correct?
Yep.
All right, let's get into it.
All right, so there are a lot of good ones on the board, obviously. I want to try to do one more recent. It may come back to haunt me since this is a snake draft. Man, okay. So the first Super Bowl I'm gonna do is gonna be Super Bowl 52 when the Patriots and the Eagles played. To the tune of a 41-33 win by the Eagles.
Foles game.
Yeah.
That was a good game.
My first pick.
I don't know if that would have been my first, actually.
First one, I think this is the best Super Bowl in the last 20 years. Just my opinion. Cardinals, Steelers.
I was trying to stack that with my next pick.
Cardinals, Steelers.
I feel like
that one.
yeah.
I
was trying to stack
of course,
that.
my team lost in it, but just the whole play of it all. Just the James Harrison interception, the Larry Fitzgerald 2
The real turning
touchdowns.
point.
It was kind of exciting from start to finish. I like how that game was.
Yeah.
So, had a lot of good storylines.
I really thought I was going to get that over on you.
me.
I'm going to go with my first pick. I'm going to go with 28-3.
I thought about
going,
that.
I'm surprised. I'm really surprised I didn't go first. I had a feeling he was going to pick the Cardinals Super Bowl.
I was gonna do the Falcons, but I was like,
Yeah,
That
so
was my backup. Brian took
yeah,
mine.
the Falcons blowing the 28-3 lead to the Patriots. Probably the most historic Super Bowl of all time. Honestly, probably going to be the most talked about for a while.
The funniest one for sure.
It was not funny, man. That was sad to see. Julio didn't deserve that. But
definitely didn't.
Somebody dropped that head coach, didn't they?
Man,
Somebody hired that head coach.
who?
The
Dan
Falcons.
Quinn, man.
No,
Oh,
not this year. Maybe next year. Maybe they'll get him next year.
Oh, okay.
But my next Super Bowl, since I have the first pick in the second round, I think I'm gonna go with. This might be a reach. I think I'm gonna have to go with. Drawing a blank.
He scared me.
Oh, who you think?
You got a lot of good options.
I feel like
I
you and
do.
J-
It
I
is
feel
a
like
lot.
You and JD are gonna take the one I'm thinking of.
I just took Falcons and the Patriots, and so now.
Man, the
I'm going
Patriots
to
don't
take-
line this goddamn Super Bowls.
Exactly. That's the thing.
Both all the
That's the
games
thing,
I'm thinking
all
of,
of
they
them are
all
so
have
good.
Patriots at
That's
this
what,
point. Hold on. Okay, I'll just
What was
take
the one
whatever
I
you
just
don't
had in
take.
mind?
I feel like that's what we all about to do. Just pick a true Super Bowl.
Huh? Oh no, that's the one. I'm going with the blackout Super Bowl. Ravens
that's a good
49ers.
one. That's a good one.
The Harbaugh Bowl.
I didn't like that one. That shit was so fake.
I mean, it was a tale of two halves, but it still worked.
I like the story. It was so clearly
That blackout
scripted.
was so
It was so
So
clearly
crazy.
It was
So
so
scripted.
clearly scripted.
so clearly. That shit
That's
was
why
so
I had to
fake.
take that one. I don't know if that one was going to get back
That
to
joint
me.
came out halftime.
Yeah, man.
That joint came out at halftime with the Jacoby Jones touchdown.
Yeah.
That shit was so fake, man.
He did-
Oh my
How did
god,
clock
that
stop?
shit was fake. He did the dance.
Kobe Jones, that's my dog, man.
That shit was fake.
Him and Percy
Fuck.
Harvin doing that in back-to-back Super Bowls is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's that about. Yeah, I'm not touching that second Super Bowl.
What you
No.
got?
Well, none of us are, but I'm just saying.
Damn, you actually didn't take one of the Super Bowls I was thinking of. Now I can decide.
That's what I'm saying.
between
I was thinking about one too. I
Is
feel
the
like you about
Patriots
to do.
one?
I feel like you about
the two. Or
to
the
do it.
other Patriots one.
Oh, you're. I think he's gonna take one of my two.
Man,
Whichever-
you're not going to let Brian leave with that one?
I mean, there's two.
He got two.
I'm about to say I got two I can pick
But
from.
there was one that never mind.
He's gonna take. No, he's not gonna take that one.
There's
That's
one
not the
that-
one.
I'm trying to think. Do I want the one that would the better offensive play ended it, or the better defensive play ended it?
Yep. He about to take it. He's about to take it.
Let me get that. Shit, this kind of difficult. Let me get the defensive one. I'm gonna let Brian have one to two. Let me get the defensive Super Bowl. You're probably the one that.
I was gonna do Patriots Seahawks. That was gonna be,
I'm
that was gonna
doing
be the one I
Patriots
was
Seahawks.
doing.
That one, the way
That
Brady was moving
that's a good pick.
down the field, and then Seattle got all the way down there, and then fumble threw that pick right then. Yeah, that game was crazy. They had the house going crazy when he threw that pick. They couldn't believe he didn't run that ball. They still talk about it to this day.
Yeah.
So that's my second.
So
pick.
that was another one I was going to. That was going to be the one I was thinking about picking first. 'Cause I didn't know if I was going to get that one back. So So I got to do Super Bowl 42, just because of the legacy of it and everything like that. This is an underrated Super Bowl, so this probably won't help me like if people vote later. But I'll say the Packers and the Steelers Super Bowl for my final one.
Nigga, I forgot that Super Bowl even happened.
That I always think about it, and it's like I barely remember any memorable moments from that game. But it's probably because Aaron Rodgers won.
Yeah,
So
I
I
always
really-
remember that. I
really
just
don't
always
care.
remember on the sidelines when Grant Jennings was like, "That corner route is wide open," and then they finally threw that corner route to him in the corner because Troy was playing in the middle of the field.
It actually wasn't that bad. So it's just some Super Bowls I don't remember.
Yeah, I feel like if Ben drove him down and scored like he did in Super Bowl 43.
Somebody fumbled that game. Rashard Mendenhall
Yeah,
fumbled that
Rashard
game.
Mendenhall.
Yeah, he took a lot of blame for that.
What was
Yeah,
your
I
pick
remember that.
before that?
The pick before that was Super Bowl 42. So the Giants when they broke the
the
undefeated
undefeated
record.
season. Yeah, he had to take one of those.
I'm surprised that
That
still
means
that long.
I'm gonna take the other one.
46.
Yeah, the Giants Patriots. That
The best throw I've ever seen.
That
Eli
throw from
Manning
Eli to the what was it, Manningham on the left side? Yeah, that throw was that
Make
might
them throw it to Manningham.
and that throw was actually not a good throw, like
It wasn't.
decision making wise. But the throw was literally perfect.
Why wasn't it a good decision?
Because I mean, you saw how precision he had the throw had to be. It was real.
So I agree with
Hold
that.
up.
I agree with that.
I know I'm trying to say, but phrasing wise, I'm trying to make sure I say it right.
Margin
Had
for
to-
error.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, margin error was real low. It was not a lot of space. So I feel like if it was any further to the right, the safety would have cranked him. He would have really dropped it. Or if it was further to the left, it would have been out of
Yeah,
bounds.
out of bounds, yeah.
So it was like the perfect spot where he had to throw that ball. Just at the was it third down?
It was first down.
So the making that throwing first down was like not really expected. That's probably why they called that coverage. So it was a great throw.
No,
that's why I'm asking my pick.
that's the only reason why I asked. Because,
Yeah.
like, obviously, like, when you look at the play, Eli made sure that he held the safety long enough so that way he'd have that small window to make that throw.
Yeah, it's usually don't even try whole shots like that on first down, but it worked. So I think I'm the Super Bowl.
Well, for the last pick of the Super Bowl draft, I'm torn. Since I have the last one, I can just announce.
Yeah, you got
who
a
I'm
couple.
take your
You got a
deciding
couple of
between.
people. Couple of them. What you
Yeah,
got?
bro. I'm torn between a couple recent Super
I'm not gonna
Bowls.
forget no more.
The two recent Super Bowls, the
Oh, 56, 57.
Bengals Rams, and then the Chiefs
Yeah,
Eagles
I
last
forgot
year.
Bengals Rams happened.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a
the
good
only
one.
reason that I'm not. I think Bengals Rams might have been a better game because there were more big defensive moments, you could say. But I feel like it's not as memorable as Chiefs Eagles could be down the line, just because of the offensive output from that game. 38-35, that type of score in the Super Bowl is not
Defensive
common.
play was made too.
Yeah, and then you did have the big play where Jalen Hurts fumbled. And it's like both offenses gave their best in that game. And it's like you saw one team lose, but it's like you can't even say that it's on either of the offenses who lost that game. So I'm gonna go with Chiefs Eagles, the most recent Super Bowl that we had.
I think that's the biggest one too, because obviously, like, you have there's still that allure of like, what if that penalty doesn't get called? So like you kind of have your own like interpretation of it, kind of like almost like a movie feel. Like, what if that didn't happen? So as you can't say that for every Super Bowl. So I think that's
so. That finalizes the Super Bowl draft. So everybody want to state their bowls real quick.
so,
Yeah, Cardinals, Steelers, Patriots, Seahawks, Giants, Patriots.
Super Bowl 46 for y'all.
Yeah, my fault. The second.
Yeah.
Giants, Patriots,
Me, I had Patriots, Eagles, Super Bowl 52. I had Giants, Patriots, Super Bowl 42, and I had what was my third pick? Oh, Packers Steelers at Super Bowl 45.
And I had the Falcons blowing the 28-3 lead. Then I had the Ravens 49ers blackout Super Bowl. Then my final pick was last year's Chiefs Eagles Super Bowl. So let us know in the comments who you think drafted the best actual games. And be sure to also leave a like, subscribe, leave more comments, and share. And I think somebody wants to come on camera really quickly to showcase
His attire
his attire.
Yeah.
and why he's wearing it.
Okay, let me give him the mic.
For further detailing, JB got last place in our fantasy football league, of course.
It was a close one. I'm not gonna lie. I was like real close to losing it.
Here, you can sit right here, man.
Oh, let's sit right here, right in front of the camera, man, so everybody can see what you wearing.
Oh yeah. Okay.
What the fuck?
Am I blocking you?
Nah, you're good, bro.
Okay.
Don't matter about me.
I don't
This
really
one.
want to be in the
This is
shot.
all about JB.
So,
Actually,
yeah,
don't even want to be in the
JB
frame at all.
JB got last place in our fantasy league, last place in our fantasy football league, and his punishment was to attempt to consume 10 hot dogs in one sitting. So I believe, would you like to explain the attire?
Oh yes. So when we first started the season, I went to the thrift store and I came across a shirt that, of course, says Gobbler Fest. And that's when we first came. Not the idea came. Sorry, thank you. Reiterate Gobbler Fest. I don't know if we came with the idea for the hot dogs first.
Came with the idea.
Yeah, and then I ran into the shirt and I said, "Oh, this would be perfect for the loser." Lord knows, didn't think I'd be the loser. So I forgot to wear the shirt when we did the contest. Well, we did the contest when I competed with myself. So I decided to
Me versus me, you know what I'm
me
saying?
versus the dog, man. And I decided to get on the podcast and do my punishment truly to the fullest. So here it is.
Hey, fucking
Here's me.
yo.
Of course, I'm not gonna say I'm a true gobbler. I only had 8 hot dogs. 7?
Yes, sir.
7 hot dogs. I beat the odds though.
You finished the next two the next day, right?
I did.
Because Caleb ate from one of them, though.
Yes, he did.
So you couldn't even get all 10.
I tried my best.
Couldn't get all 10.
Couldn't get all 10. You know, sometimes that's too much or something. You know, 7 is just the right
yeah.
number.
Yeah, you're done.
7's the
All
right
right.
number.
Thank you guys for
All right.
watching. This has been another edition of the What's Play podcast. Like I said, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Christian, Brian, Sports Fan, Gobbler Fest, and Caleb is behind the camera.
He said, "Oh."
Stay tuned for the next play.